Hey everyone, it's Phoenix again, and I'm about to release the video version that I talked about in the last video of my add-on master recipe list. But I wanted to show a couple new features because I got to working on it, and I finally finished a bunch of stuff before the release that I intended to, on top of what I already showed. So there's a few things that I added. As you can see here, I finally added the button here to show and hide the main master recipe list. You can still use /mrl/recipes. You can still keybind it, but I added a button here to integrate it with the cooking station. So that's there. There's some other buttons here too. There is some new features. I showed the one that tracks the Ritz and puts the check mark for the Ritz. I added this feature here, which is on by default. You can turn it off, but basically what that does is if you're tracking anything, it will actually it'll let you track, it will put a notification next to each of the categories that contains something you're tracking. So like, for example, if I go down here and track something, now obviously when you're at a cooking station, it only shows you the recipes that you know. So if you're tracking something that you don't know, it's not going to put the indicator there because there's nothing in the list. So I'm just going to click something in that category that I know, and you can see it puts the check mark there. I open it up, and there's the thing that I selected is highlighted. So that's one thing. And then, for example, just for giggles, I can actually and see how this when you're at a cooking station, it's got the tooltip of what you're creating. If that gets in the way, I added this button. You can actually turn that on and off. So that's kind of neat if you want to use the recipe list while you're cooking. For the tooltips, you can move it around. You can switch between food and recipe tooltips, and you can turn that back on when you want. I was just going to go ahead and select everything so you can see, it is really fast and it puts the check mark on everything. So that's cool. And it updates in real time. So that's there. Oh, and this is another cool feature I added. If you go and select something in one of your recipes that you know, if you hit this button here, it will actually search for it in master recipe list. If it's not open and you click on something and search, it'll actually go ahead and open it up for you and bring that up, and that'll allow you to either track it or link it, whatever you want to do with it. So that's cool too. So a few new features that I added on top of the tracking of Ritz, which makes doing Ritz very easy, and the amazing color coding, which I still am in love with. So that is version 1.34, should be going up today, which is Father's Day. So I hope you do enjoy it. Thanks a lot for watching. I just thought of a couple more things I wanted to add to the video. Just some of the ways that you can use some of these new features. Obviously, when you're on a RIT, having that little check mark on the category that contains the recipe and being able to just scroll down and, oh, there it is, and when you click on it, it tells you it's needed for the RIT until you craft it. That obviously is very time saving because you don't have to leave the cooking station to check your quests. You can just know exactly what you need to craft. So that's cool. Something that I did want to show is the like the tracking features, and also being able to hide that tooltip is helpful. But with the tracking features, people might remember from the old sous chef. I never really used it, but I read some of the things that it had in it just as I was improving my own add-on, and one of the things was that you could set up I guess like a list of things to cook for people. Anyway, something that's cool with this is you can actually say somebody asked you to make them some food. You can either browse through here by the categories, or you can actually text search, which is way fast, what it was that they want, and then track it. Go through your list of things, pick things that you can see right off the bat. The yellow ones are the ones that you know, and make a list of all the things that you want to cook. And then when you go to the cooking station, in addition to the RIT check marks, you're also going to see these. This indicates that something in this list is on your tracking list. So if you open that up, you'll see that now items that I've set to tracking are also highlighted with a blue check mark. And then this feature, you can go back and see and uncheck it if you want. But by clicking this, it searches straight over to the recipe list of the recipe that you have selected. So that's handy too. So that's a way you can set up, shopping lists of things that you want to cook for people. Is that you just go into master recipe list, select a bunch of things to tracking, and then you'll be able to just go over to the cooking station and see, along with, which one has your writ, also which one has any recipes that you're currently waiting to cook. So, and then you can just clear that, and it'll get rid of all of them, and also leave the writ check mark because I haven't done those yet. So that's another way that you can use it, and you'll find other ways and combinations. When you're at your bank and you're trying to sort, ingredients, being able to set ones to track and see the check mark in the inventory, so you know which ones to junk maybe. When you're looking at your bank of how much you have in stacks is helpful. You'll find lots of ways. There's a whole bunch of features in the add-on. So just thought I would add that to the video, and I hope you enjoy the new release.